There we go. Probably couldn't hear me before. Gosh. I am using my microphone this week, trying to switch to that. So I'm just going to check. No thanks. Da, da, da. Make sure we're live. Here we go. Am I live right now? I can't tell. Okay. All right. Okay, perfect. I'm seeing it. Awesome. Audio is perfect. All right. You're free to go, Miss Naira. Thank you so much. No need to hang out. I've got this new fancy mic, and to celebrate my 2-year anniversary for the podcast. And yeah, I'm going to start using it for all the things because it's a nice mic. So what's up? What's up? Happy new moon. Happy April 1st. Try and get some light going on over here. You can see my little ring. It's like a little halo. Whew. So first, I'm just curious about how this past week was for you. And feel free to share anything with me. I was just listening to last week's reading before diving in here. And yeah, I'll just say it. I got a new hairstyle. Went and got some blonde back. It's been like a year. It was the end of 2020, the last time I went and got my hair all done up. So I'm still acclimating, but yes. Anyway, but I listened to the message from last week and I was just like, man, so on point, very much for me. This week has, honestly, it's been really difficult. A lot of purging going on for me. Thank you. Thank you. I'm having a good hair day. It's happy. It's short again. Thank you, Chastity. Yes. It's kind of funny because there's been a lot of purging for me as well. Now that you mention it, I wouldn't have called it that, but that's exactly what it is. It's been happening. I've had a lot of things coming up with the business that I shut down, my second business that I shut down in 2018. And that was a heartbreak for me, for sure. Literally the biggest heartbreak of my life. And so, I thought that I had done quite a bit of healing, but on the 30th of March, actually, was the 3-year, I guess 4-year anniversary since I had launched that business. We did a pop-up party. It was a retail business. It was incredible. People came and they saw the swimwear and there were just all these different things going on. And it was a great success. And I remember going home that night and laying in bed and just thinking, being wide awake. My partner was next to me snoring. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to legit do this thing now. And yeah, it was a wild ride, but it was something that I loved so much. And I had all of these different things coming up, a lot of pain. Wednesday morning was really difficult for me. I was bawling, crying, sobbing, and I had clients pretty early on in the day. So I was really trying to kind of get myself together. And I did a really beautiful meditation, and then actually did a couple of cord cutting ceremonies with 2 people who worked for me in the midst of that project. And 2 people I love dearly who, in the midst of kind of going your own direction and shutting down a business, you don't always stay in contact. And those are difficult things for me because I would like everything to always go well and for people to be happy and for things to end nicely. And that's just not real life. I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart, so I can be a little bit too idealistic at times. And but it's just not real life. So I too had to do some purging, and it's been interesting as well because the records talked about last week how we really needed to watch our conversations and be curious about people and those sorts of things. And man, I've had 2 really difficult interactions with people this week, which again, just super bummed me out because, um, I just want things to go well, and I don't like confrontations. And, just like when I get really excited, my brain kind of shuts down and I don't communicate really well. When I get really sad or I get upset, my brain kind of shuts down and I feel very vulnerable in the midst of like, a confrontation with someone in regards to being able to share my feelings about things. Um, but and I was again listening back to it right before this, and I was just thinking like, man, even though these were situations that I didn't create and I didn't start, I could have used curiosity and potentially they might have gone a little bit better. I can be very stubborn and strong-willed and not always handle things the best way. When someone hurts me, it's just kind of like, um, I back off, walls go up. And being like learning how to live with an open heart, learning how to be like, wow, you really, really, really hurt me. And like being able to be vulnerable in those moments and then being like, so tell me more about why you felt this way or whatever the case may be. Like I got some growing to learn to do, I should say. So if you are on that path, you are not alone. And I think that we're always on that path. We're always being called to just kind of reevaluate or evaluate difficult situations in our lives and think about what we can learn about them. What do they have for us? What can they share? Um, and I'm still in the midst of mine, so it's not like they're all gone. But anyway, something real quick that I wanted to share before we kind of dive into today's reading is that there is, so for the past couple of years, I have been trying to do my goals and my vision board for the year at the beginning of the year, and it has not worked out. It's been up until like March, end of March, before I've been able to really do those, which for me, as someone who's been an entrepreneur for over a decade, like that's really bothered me. I haven't understood what's going on. And then, so about a week ago, if you're on my newsletter, you know about this, but, and for folks who listen to this recording, you'll still have plenty of time to do this for yourself, hopefully. But I came across a podcast about a week and a half ago, I guess, or a week ago, about creating a treasure map. And basically, a treasure map is a vision board, and it's in alignment with the new moon in Aries that happens every year, AKA today. And basically, what you're doing is utilizing the energy of the new moon to like jump start your year, to really make sure that you manifest the things that you want to bring into your life. So it could be career, relationships, maybe want to lose some COVID pounds. I know I do, but you know what I'm saying? It can be anything. And it's a beautiful, I'll grab that actually really quick while I'm sitting here and talking with you, just so that I can share that. Definitely something to just kind of check out. You can create this, I believe, up until the full moon. But if you really want to maximize the energy, it would be best to do so within the first 4 days or 10 days at max. Um, so let me make sure this is the right one. Yes. Okay. Because they did a part two. So if you have extra questions, you can go and listen to that one. Of course, I'm going to have to click on it just to be able to get the link. Sorry. I should have had this ready to go. I'm still learning. Okay. I'm going to put it in the chat box here. Oops. Okay. Highly recommend. I'm definitely going to be doing this myself. I've already started listing out my things, and my partner and I are going to be working on this tonight, tomorrow, probably over the weekend, because it's going to take a little bit of time. But first thing you might want to do is to do some purging, to get rid of some things in your space, but then really start getting clear on what it is you want. So, the highly recommend it. Next year, I'm going to be throwing a party for it online and in person, and I can't wait. Okay, so again, a little bit about this week. I felt like this week really aligned with the reading for last week, and I'm super curious to hear what it is that they have. If you aren't familiar with my work and what I do, I just launched on Wednesday the Akashic Record reading of the forecast for the month of April. Highly recommend checking that out. It is a beautiful message. I am super pumped for um, for April. So here's April's Akashic forecast. More things I should have already had printed out or ready to go links. But highly recommend. Similar to these weekly readings, kind of understanding what the energetics of the month are ahead can be really useful. So, okay, let's go ahead and dive in here to the records. Per usual, we're just going to kind of spend a couple of moments here getting quiet. Then I will open up the records and channel through whatever it is that they have to share. Okay. So if you're listening to this, I just invite you to place a hand on your heart, left or right, it doesn't matter. Tune in to how it is that you're feeling, what's going on within your body, where you're at in this moment. Don't feel the need to make sense of every word that I share. Just let this message kind of float over you, settle in where it's meant to. I would suggest coming back to it throughout the week if you're feeling lost, if you're wondering what the heck's going on, if or you just kind of want a little bit of an energetic boost. I'm going to call in my guides, only those acting in my highest and best. Call in the guides of anyone present here, only those acting in their highest and best. Just to be with us, create a safe space, protect the energetics here. This isn't something that's necessary for reading the records, but it's something I just like doing because I love my angels coming in. Archangel Metatron, Gabriel, Raphael, Raziel, Michael. And I'm just going to take a couple moments here to be quiet. Then I'll go ahead and open up the records and share. Holy Spirit of God, please help me share the message that the Master teaches loved ones out for the attendees of this YouTube channel to keep you aligned, so I may help guide and teach you potential to be guided and protected by your energy, the Holy Spirit of Master teachers, loved ones, what message do you have for us in the week to come? There is much that will be going on. For a steady beat will be rising. Yes, it will be pounding louder, louder, like drums, whistling in a new tune, beckoning forth new energy. With it will come tidal waves of everlasting joy, experience, intensity in all its forms. You are not alone on this path, no. There are always others walking it with you. Yet at times you might feel quite set apart. That is okay. Honor those moments within you. Know that they too belong. And even in the midst of feeling them, know that that doesn't necessarily mean that they are true. For it is always wise to be discerning, always wise to get a second opinion, to dive a little bit deeper, to ask yourself once again, when you aren't caught up in the heat of the moment, what is it that I should do here? There will be waves of excited energy coming towards you. For some, this will cause anxiety. For others, they will feel high on life. Neither is better than the other. Again, we say, honor where you are at. Honor what it is that you have to give in each moment. Yes, of course, you can strive for more when you're hanging down low, but don't push yourself too hard, because even the low moments have something to tell you. And in this day and time, they are of equal importance. They are valid. They belong. Allow any tears. Allow any loud laughter. Allow anything between. For there is room and space for it all. This isn't going to be an easy week, but it's not necessarily going to be a difficult one. If you choose to ride the waves in tandem with what it is they're beckoning you to do, if you can be adaptable, flexible to your surroundings, if you can go with the flow, knowing, believing, and trusting, you will always make it back to the stream that is meant for you, the one in which you are called to walk. Your stream will look different from others. It won't be the same color. It won't feel the same way. And that's okay. It's always okay. Find deep compassion for yourself in the days to come, regardless of where you find yourself at. Don't feel the need to label it, control it, or make it into something that it's not. Try to simply find acceptance for what is and allow yourself to go with the tide. We know this might not mean much to you at this time, but give it some space. As the days move forward, you will see what it is that's coming to you. You will see what it is that's meant to rise to the surface. As always, lead with curiosity. Take time and tender care with those in your life, giving them your presence. Try not to get caught up in distractions and screen time. Get outside as often as possible, for it will help you to reground into who you are instead of getting caught up in the wave of all that's happening around you. For we know that we've spoken for foundations for so long, but it is in these times that such a message cannot be heard enough. Foundations, foundations. What are yours? What do you come back to? How do you stand tall in the midst of a storm? How do you proceed forward once the water has fled away? Take time in the days to come to go at them in a slower pace. Believe us when we say the energy will want you to do anything but take your time. Don't rush what is ahead of you or where it is that you want to go. For all of it will come to you when it's meant to. Have patience, trust, and know that all is well. Just going to close the records. Thank you, God and Holy Spirit, for allowing me to help guide the attendees of the YouTube channel. I thank the masters, teachers, loved ones, gurus for the love, compassion, teaching, gratitude. The records not closed. Amen. The records not closed. Amen. The records not closed. Okay. So I'm not sure who was here while I was reading, or channeling, I should say. If you'd like to share anything about how that resonated with you, please do so. Like I was briefly talking about before I opened up the records, the April Akashic Record Forecast. Water is a huge theme. And I was really surprised by how much water was coming through in this forecast reading, considering this is the first week of April. Something that I shared on the podcast is just that, water is purifying. It is cleansing. It also wakes us up, right? It brings us kind of back to present. It's like you really can't be asleep in the midst of water. Some people might be able to, but I would say that's not normally what you do around water. Thank you, Chastity. So nice to have you here. But what I took away from this, and I encourage you to also think about how this message resonates with you, because it might be very different from how it resonated with me. And as they were saying, like, it's all good, right? Regardless of how you hear this, how it comes across, whatever the case may be, it's equally valid. And for me, I'm seeing all of these waves as this like juxtaposition between emotions and cleansing. I feel like April is going to not only be really waking us up a lot and awakening us to ourselves, but I think that especially what they shared specifically for this week coming, like we're still in the midst of quite a bit of energy from March, which is pretty intense. I know, like, Mars and Venus are going to be going into Pisces. Like, there's water is all around us. We've got quite a few other signs that are in water. And it's really easy to get lost in emotions. It's really easy to get caught up and to lose ourselves, I know for myself, and I can only speak for myself really, but I'm a very emotional person. And when something hurts me or upsets me, it's difficult for me to see ahead of myself. And if I don't have practices in place to continually ground myself, then I can get in really big trouble. I have gotten so much better at dealing with my emotions and reactions, but I've still got a long way to go. And, I think that that's obviously quite a few of us. All you have to do is jump on social media and see how people are reacting to things that are going on in the world and kind of see. I was, oh gosh, I think it was last week, end of last week, maybe actually, no, maybe the very beginning of this week. I actually got involved in a conversation on Facebook and left uh, a message to an update about a very hot topic. And honestly, I was just wanting to have a discussion because it's a topic that has to be discussed. It's not black or white. And and I was very foolish in thinking that I could do that on Facebook, and especially the person that I engaged. And oh my goodness, the whole conversation like launched into this like cacophony of like insults and shame. And I was just like, holy crap. I had taken quite a long break from social media before jumping back. And yeah, it just really like reintroduced me to what happens on social media. And I was just like, whew. I feel like I've gotten slapped in the face at least 3 times this week. So yes. But moving forward, right? We can do better. I can do better. I don't know how last week was for you, but if it was similar, perhaps there were confrontations, perhaps maybe you said something, perhaps I don't know. But it feels like this next week, starting today, is a week to do it better, to again get regrounded, to consider our emotions before we speak, to lead with curiosity, which I love when they say that, because it's really the way we need to be living our lives right now. And but yes, things are opening up. I felt like such it was a much lighter message than it was last week, and I'm excited for that. Yes, please, just some lighter energy. So, honestly, that's really all for me today. I feel like I'm a bit spacey. I was born on a new moon, and new moons like kick my butt in regards to energy. So I'm not going to hang out too long, but I just want to say thank you for coming, hanging out with me. I hope this served. Please, yeah, leave leave any comments. Let me know how this resonated with you, and like and subscribe. I swear I'll get this YouTube thing down. I promise. Okay. Much love in the week ahead. And please feel free to reach out if I can help you in any way.